Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy coming at you with a new review. If you follow my channel, you know that I am taking a look at the Amouage Discovery Collection for Woman. And in this Discovery Collection, there are 7 fragrances, and I am on number 3. So as you know from the title, this is Reflection Woman. There we go. Reflection Woman, and I have used just about the entire sample this week, so I am ready to go. Before I jump in, let me just give a quick shout out to all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing this last week. I really appreciate it. You guys, some of you guys are coming on because you saw me on the recent shows and Facebook lives, etc., that we've been doing with colognes, and I always thoroughly enjoy chit-chatting about fragrance. Thank you for watching those. Thank you for subscribing, and welcome to the Cologne crew. So if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you know that I used to sing "Welcome to the Cologne crew," but I won't impress you with my new mic. I won't impress you with my 4-octave voice singing range, and I will just leave it at "Welcome to the Cologne crew." Welcome aboard, everybody. Really nice to see you. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe my videos, and don't forget to send them along to others interested. Okay, so you know that in the sampler set, with each one, I like to read the description before I do the review to see if it really does fit the description. All right, so this is Reflection Woman. So I positively love reading these. I want to know who is the writer for Amouage. Reflection Woman. Reflection Woman is a luminous and delicate floral fragrance with notes of water violet, purple freesia, and tropical green leaves in the top notes that sit above cool and lush white flowers such as magnolia and jasmine in the heart. Warmth is injected in the base notes with the use of amber, cedarwood, and sandalwood. Is that the case? Find out next. Without further ado, let's dive in on Reflection Woman. And this is going to be kind of a different review when it comes to the notes. And I'll tell you why. This is a 2007 green floral. And it's relevant to take a look at the parfumé on this one. Not always the case, right? But it is for this one because this is done by Maurice Roucel. He is a top 10 parfumé for me. Certainly not top 3, but I really like his work. He's done Hypnose by Lancôme, and he's also done Musc Ravageur by Frédéric Malle, and he's done Lalique pour Homme. That's the one with the lion embossed in the bottle. He did that one as well, and I'm a huge fan of that one. I've had many bottles of Lalique pour Homme, and it says pour Homme, but really that one is a unisex fragrance. I really like that one. So this is a 2007 release that he did with Amouage, and he never did anything else after that with Amouage. So this is a one-off, and I'll talk a little bit later about why I think that's the case. In 2004, he released through the house Donna, is it Karan or Karan, but it's Karan. I don't know how to pronounce Donna Karan, I'll say. And through that house, he released Be Delicious, which is a 2004 release, kind of a green apple vibe to it, at least in the original. And then in 2005, a year after that, Jean-Claude Elena released with Hermès. He released a fragrance called Un Jardin sur le Nil. And I think it's relevant to say that because that is a unisex green floral, at least it is to my knowledge. It has a very green feel to it. And when I wore this fragrance, it always makes me think of Un Jardin sur le Nil. I'm not saying it smells exactly like it. It just reminds me of that. And that was a 2005 release. So this is all relevant because when you consider that in 2004, Maurice Roucel had Be Delicious, kind of a green apple vibe to it. And then the year after that was the Hermès release with Jean-Claude Elena. you can kind of see that this scent to me is almost like Be Delicious meets Un Jardin sur le Nil. I'm not saying it's a copy of that. It's not, but it's almost like a combination of those two scents. And I think the timeline is very, very interesting here, right? 2004, Be Delicious. 2005, Un Jardin sur le Nil. And then 2 years later, we have this release. And so I think what's important for me on the notes themselves are not exactly which green notes are in here. This is a green floral, and you should think three things: green, green, and more green. And I think it's more helpful to see it instead of each specific note as it kind of this almost like the child of those two perfumes that I mentioned, Be Delicious and Un Jardin sous le Nil, and that's what this is. That's the way I see it. It's kind of a combination of those two. It's not a copy of either one certainly, but it's kind of a blending of those two fragrances. That's how I take it. Those are the notes for me. Again, this is a green floral 2007 release, Maurice Roucel. Let's get into longevity and projection. So in terms of projection, here's the thing about this fragrance. It kind of reminds me too of l'Odyssée Bleu, which is, it should not be called blue. It should be called verde or whatever the French word is for green. But it is a very green scent. And that one also has this initial blast that if you can just get past that, it settles down. You really like it. So this one also has that. The initial blast of it is, I would even say off-putting, actually. It's very, you know what it smells like? The initial blast for me smells like it smells like a kind of a combination of a little bit of sunscreen. More than anything, it reminds me of the kind of chemicals that you put on, or product, if it's all natural, a kind of product that you put on to keep mosquitoes away. So something like Off that smells. It's a mosquito repellent. You spray it, and then it keeps mosquitoes away. It kind of smells like that. Just initially. I'm not saying all the time. So before you get ready to say oh my God and click out of here, I'm just saying in the initial blast. And so the projection initially for the first 2 hours is much further than an arm's length. In fact, if you wear this, when I wear this down here, of course, and then if I go upstairs, do some things, come back down in about a half hour or so after that, it's still lingering. So projection is well beyond an arm's length. And I did 4 sprays. I did 1 on each wrist and 1 on each side of the neck each day. And so projection for the first 2 hours, well beyond arm's length. And then it settles down though, and it settles down and gets close to your skin, but it's not a skin scent though. It's not something that someone could only smell it if they leaned really, really close in. It does stay about an elbow's length away from you then, and it does so for a good 10 to 12 hours. So longevity is fantastic as well. Longevity is one of the things that you would like about this fragrance, and that is 2 days ago I wore it and I could smell myself easily at the 12-hour mark. That is really, really good. So you're going to get, longevity-wise, a good 10 to 12 hours out of this. And when I say that, I don't even mean just like, at the 10 or 11-hour marks, only if somebody, leaned in and got close. I mean that you could really smell it on somebody when they walk by. That is fantastic. So kudos to them when it comes to longevity. And then the projection, as I said, projection is better actually with each hour. So if you were if you do a commute and you drive for at least an hour and a half a day before you get to work, then this would be a great fragrance because while you're in the car, it's going to kind of, or train or whatever transportation, it's going to settle down a little bit. And then about the 2-hour mark is when this guy or gal starts to shine. So I I think the real question is, can you get past the original blast? And I don't know that I can. But wow, this is definitely not a linear fragrance. I mean, this is one that takes some. There's an ebb and a flow to this fragrance with each hour that goes by. That's something that I really, really appreciated about the fragrance. Okay, so that's the longevity and that's the projection. Now let's take a look at the gender. Now, of course, this is reflection woman, but you guys know I usually talk about a continuum, masculine, feminine, and it's more about what they marketed toward. So this is marketed toward women, of course, and actually this really is quite feminine. This is not a unisex fragrance, certainly not masculine. Again, in marketing terms, we all know that anybody could wear anything. But on the continuum, it's definitely so. If we were looking at Lucky Scent, that's one thing I like about Lucky Scent is they always have the feminine masculine continuum. I would put this quite clearly on the feminine side. I don't know if I'd put it all the way, but this is unequivocally feminine. Now, as far as age group, I'm going to get myself into a little trouble here because, in fact, let me preface this by saying one thing. So I really like Lidge by Guerlain, which is L'Instant de Guerlain Extrême. And that's, hopefully I didn't destroy that French, but a lot of people just call it Lidge because it's Lidge, L'Instant de Guerlain Extrême. I really, really like that fragrance a lot. And it has a mature vibe to it, okay? On the masculine side, I enjoyed wearing it. I would call it mature. I would say 50 and up, but I don't see it as bad. I don't think it's a grandpa-ish scent. I want it in my collection. When I sampled it, I loved it, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I would like to have it in my collection. In fact, I'm looking for it. If you know a good price of where I can get it, let me know. So I wanted to preface that because with Reflection Woman, this is also, in my opinion, a mature perfume. This is I would say to me, this is more for women who are 50 and over. That's not to say that it's a grandma-ish scent. I'm not trying to suggest that in a negative, a pejorative sense. I'm just saying that I do see this as a mature scent. Do I see this as a clubbing scent? Do I see this as a romantic night out scent? I do not. As far as occasion, I really see this as a professional setting, and I see this as a formal wear situation. So this is not something that is going to be for a romantic night out, certainly not clubbing, and I do see this more as like something that you could wear at the office as long as it's toned down, and I could see this going quite well actually with formal wear. Now, I'm not going to surprise you here with regard to season because, I mean, this is a spring, summer, and I see this more as a spring, as I said. So as far as the price point, this is a niche perfume. And as I said in the beginning of the episode, I was going to kind of come back to this notion of a one-time relationship with Maurice Roucel and Amouage. I don't know that this is going to happen again, and I say that because it's almost like, if you think of music and you think of a band that you like, and they meet up with, whether it be a one-time or supposedly forever, but they meet up with a singer. And they form, and you like the singer and you like the band, but the combination of the two just doesn't really work well. And that's kind of what I see in this one. I like Maurice Roucel as a parfumé. I love Amouage. You guys know I'm an Amouage fanboy. Do I think this partnership will happen again, though? I do not. I do see this as a one-off. This isn't a bad fragrance by any means. It's just that it doesn't really distinguish itself for green florals, especially at this price point. So you have to ask yourself, for $300, is something that is nice and smells quite well and isn't incredibly original, is it really worth the money? Even if I found this as a discounter, though, I would have to say it's just not worth the money. I would not wear this and I would not gift this for that reason, because I would always go back to something closer to Hermès, Un Jardin sous le Nil. I really, really like that fragrance a lot. And so when it comes to this kind of green floral Reflection Woman just doesn't really make the cut. Do I see anyone disliking this fragrance? No. I really don't see someone, disliking or hating this fragrance, other than, of course, saying that the initial blast is quite off-putting. That said, though, do I imagine that a lot of you have this as your signature scent? I bet you don't. You might have it in your collection. Maybe someone gifted it to you. You like it, but it's not a love. It's my signature scent. It's not the I can't live without it kind of scent, which is a little bit unfortunate. I don't see I don't see this one becoming a classic. So there you have it. I feel bad in saying that, but we have to give our initial impressions, right? So if you guys follow my channel, you know that out of 5 sprays, I always rate them out of 5 sprays, and then I actually put that on me. So this is pretty easy for me. This is clearly a 3 out of 5. So yeah, I'm going to go 3 out of 5 without further ado. I'm going to go 1 on each wrist and 1 in the center of the neck this time. Here we go. Boom. Boom. And boom. Okay, so there you have it, folks. Keeping it real like I always do. All right, that was Reflection Woman, guys, by Amouage. Had so much fun doing that one. I always enjoy doing these reviews so very much, and I enjoy interacting with you guys in the comments. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions or any ways I can improve the channel. I'm always looking for ways to do that. And always remember, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. Coupled with the fact that I'm looking at, well over $300 through Amazon, $300 through Amouage.